Alright, so just wanted to give a quick little update. As you can tell, the Rex is in the garage currently. Don't mind that gross hood. And you'll see that there is a transmission there. And based off the girth, you should be able to tell that it is a 6-speed transmission. Only some hubs, a diff, starter. I've got axles in the basement. A super rusty drive shaft. I might be able to find a replacement for not too much money. Also the subframe down there. You'll notice that the STI is now out there. Yep, so I got the car on jack stands now. I got it up as high as the jack would let me up in the front. I think I'm sloping down a tiny bit in the front, but we'll see. We can always readjust once we get the transmission down if we have trouble getting it past the lower cross member or whatever we end up running into. But yeah, I think first step is going to be the drive shaft. But once I get under there, I'll take a look and see what I decide to start plugging away at. See my hand? Yeah, you can see it. But yeah, let's get the last one going. Just jam that in there. Toward our bodies a little. And so far, the worst thing about this is dropping that the first half of the catback exhaust. I'm gonna see if I can avoid dropping the downpipe also, but I'll look at too. We'll see. Which comes to shove, we'll take it off. It's no big deal, but if I can avoid it. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it out loud, or actually saying it out loud, the 6-speed is girthier, so I might actually hit the exhaust on the way in. It'll just be a pain. So yeah, I might have to drop it, then probably go ahead and drop it. Now this is completely loose, but you can see the diff isn't moving. I'm spinning the transmission and the drive shaft together. And actually, I'm going to take the carrier. I'm going to take this plate out. So it's just these two, these here and these here. Zap these out real quick. We don't drop too much rust onto that camera. Make sure it doesn't slip off. See how jacked up these threads. So now this part of the drive shaft can come down. Forgot we're still supported by the center carrier bearing. I've seen worse. It's just kind of chunky this direction. This direction is really good. Alright, I just wanted to show you one thing that when I was getting out. The drive shaft is still supported by this carrier bearing. Looks like it's a couple 14s. Double check it here in a second. But I noticed this. Look inside. Really sparkly. I can move it around here. I'll move my headlamp around. I don't know if you can see that any better. Well, some of that's catalyst from the catalytic converter, and the secondary O2 sensor. I really don't know how much is left of the cat in this downpipe, but I'm still gonna run it. And then I really don't know if this is from the up pipe, but yeah, just thought that was pretty interesting. Anyway, before I undo these and pull out the drive shaft, I think it's probably best that I drain the transmission fluid just to make sure I don't make a mess. Keep things as nice and tidy as I can. I know things are gonna get messy, but the cleaner we can get it, the cleaner we can do it, the better. WRX drive shaft is out. Here's the STI shaft. I just kind of mated it to the R180 diff just to make sure that they're actually matching. The WRX and the STI shaft are definitely different. If we align them kind of close, yeah, go like right there. we line them at the rear flange, looks like it uses a different type of center. I think this is more like a ball joint, whereas this uses a U joint. Carrier bearing, it's pretty similar. Here, I'll hold the camera like this, that way it's easier to see the difference. See if I can mess with my headlight. Yeah, that's about the same. Again, ball joint there. STI has a U joint, your left. And then the flange for the R160 diff or drive shaft, the WRX drive shaft. It's a smaller square here compared to this one, a little bit larger. And then the surprising difference is the length. So the 5-speed must be shorter, which is why it's got a longer drive shaft. And then the other thing that's interesting is the U joint. If you look at the tabs here on the drive shaft compared to the tabs there, it is thinner. Alright, see if you get in there. Yeah, you can probably see already. So after struggling with that down pipe quite a bit, there's still that one super difficult to get out bolt, or not bolt, I think. I'm gonna cut it out eventually, but I have to pull the axles. Instead of pulling the difficult side out, which is where the down pipe is, I'm gonna see, and it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to record. I'll record this side. I need an easy win. This is getting annoying, but yeah, let's get started. Right now I'm just turning the steering wheel just so that it's easier to get access to those caliper bolts. I think I'm gonna leave the axle attached. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the axle attached to the hub here. I don't have the socket for it. I don't really feel like going and picking it up. The only thing that I'm keeping from this setup here anyway is going to be the caliper, really. Rotors, I can't use them. I need 5x114, so that's what I'll do. Take this off, mount it up to the coilover. I don't think we're going to be able to use these coilovers with the larger knuckles, but we'll figure that out. If not, I guess once we get to that point, I'll unbolt them from the coilovers and swap stuff over with swap coilovers over from the STI. So let's get started on this. Let's see. Threw all my tools around. Haven't cleaned anything up because honestly, it's just been one of those projects. Just seems a little more difficult than it needs to be. I actually think I'm not gonna be able to get these off because I don't have my 3/8" socket set. That's gonna suck. Of course it's the 19. I don't think it's the 17 at least. It's the 19. So, yeah. We'll see what we can do with this. And I also tightened these to the factory specifications, which are not correct depending on what year you're using. So hopefully these aren't stripped or too tight. Just looking like it's gonna be. We got a breaker bar there, but see if we can't. There we go. Okay. Doesn't feel too gummed up, so hopefully the threads aren't pulled out of this. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to the other one without first removing the strut bolt, but we'll see. Yeah, these threads seem like they're okay. I'll take a look at the bolt. I believe I bought another. They look good. Got a good amount of anti-seize on them. But I'm pretty sure these are OEM Subaru bolts that I bought. Yeah, pretty sure. I got that one out. Top one, I won't be able to fit without first removing the strut bolts. Let's see if we can't spin this back. And it locked. Of course it locked. I didn't want to lock in that position. Alright, let's see. It's coming out. Honestly, we have the impact. So let's just hit it with the impact. She fits. Where's that spinning now? Oh, fuck. Should have not held that. Okay. Need a 19. I probably should start cleaning this up, but I'm too lazy. I don't know if these bolts can be reused yet, so we'll wait and see. The top bolt is a camber bolt with a washer. Bottom bolt came out just fine. I'll put these together. Top one, it's probably not going to come out as easily, but that's fine. So we have loosened up this brake hose. Don't know if it's a 10 or a 12. Looks like it's a 12. Yeah, looks like it's a 12. I'll take that off first. Take the speed sensor off next. I think I forgot I had to put a strut bolt or a strut nut in the back of this, since these traction fabs are not, the mounting post is not threaded for the brake line. So actually, you know what we'll do? Put it on the brake line. It doesn't get lost. Yeah. Okay. Alright, next let's get the speed sensor up. Is that a 12 as well? Yes, it is. Of course, that one's not either. Same. looks like the speed sensor bolt, or the post, is also not threaded. So that's great. That's another thing. Hopefully these speed sensors come out of these hubs. Luckily this car isn't too rusty, so should be close to okay. Anyway, now that that bottom bolt's out from the strut, you might be able to get in there. Well, there we go. Yeah, maybe. Let's try it. We can get in there with impact. That's what we'll do. Well, I don't want to fuck up the aluminum, so let's see. Where the fuck did I leave? Alright, for those of you watching, where did I leave the 1/2-inch ratchet? We need that now. I threw that up. Alright, so apparently my phone was out of storage. And actually I'm going to adjust you now that I see you a little better. Right around there, it's fine. There we go. So apparently my phone was out of storage, so I deleted the very useful OBD2 scanner app. But anyway, not sure what you missed, but the axle's still on, the caliper is off. Put the bolts back into the caliper. The bolts that go through the strut and the knuckle, I took them off and I test fitted them. And I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can. Test fitted them through the STI knuckle. Again, dipped in the ocean. Camber bolt one didn't want to go in through. Didn't want to go through super easily, so whatever, that's fine. Now I think I'm going to do is take that rotor off and then try to knock out the tie rod and then the ball joint, and that knuckle should come out along with the axle. I'm going to put the pan underneath just in case it drops anything. So here's our stupid little key tool. I say stupid because tuner lugs are stupid, very stupid, but some see it as a necessary evil to fit low profile bullshit wheels. If you can make an STI BBS, which I think is a really good looking wheel, fit with standard lug nuts. If you think you can design a decent wheel, you should probably make it fit with standard lug nuts instead of those stupid pieces of crap. You lose the key gets lost. No one has the key. Maybe they do have a key. Who cares? Shout out to Kevin, by the way. He hooked me up with that key. So I'm going to turn the steering wheel back the other way so I can get access to that tie rod. I think the ball joint's accessible underneath, so shouldn't matter which way this is spun. But anyway, oh cool, access to nut from the top. Alright, I've got my anti-masculine toxicity females here. Take those out. The powder pin out. Hopefully, those comes out in one piece. You don't have to drill it. Looks like it's coming out. Wow, that came out almost as well as a young man with a supportive family. Okay, I believe that top one is a 17. This is really crusty. I might replace them, but I might not. So I'm gonna keep that. Again, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is a 17. Yep, 17. Get the lock. Now, 19 back. Alright. There we go. Got her out. And now, I'm gonna get the mallet, which I don't remember if I... Yeah, I did leave it down there. Let's see, are we still recording? Yeah, we still got it. I think we're 5 minutes in. I'm gonna give it a few light taps. I should put my earmuffs on. Maybe a little deaf in my right ear. So look at that, they're right next to me and I didn't want to use them. There we go. Mushroom this knuckle out. Excuse me. Mushroom that knuckle out a little, but I don't care because we are not using these. And if we were to reuse them, you know what? Let me put this nut on first. I think we are still going to reuse these tie rods. Man, the tie rod ends feel taut. The boot is ripped, but they feel taut still. So we're not going to spend money unnecessarily. So we're going to put these nuts back on. And maybe I can get this cotter pin in. Again, might replace it, might not. I'm kind of lazy. I'm just gonna jam it in there. All that good. Cool. So that's up. Now all that's left is ball joint. That being said, I don't know if it'll be easier to get the ball joint out of the knuckle or out of the control arm. I think I'm going to try the control arm first. So again, where are my, there they are, anti-toxic masculinity females. And also, probably won't help you see, the drops of my headlamp. There you go. Now I can actually see what I'm doing. Now I can actually watch as I smash my fingers and cut them up. Again, first things first, cotter pin. Push that out. Or pull it out, really. Maybe. There we go. And then if I'm not mistaken, that also is going to be a 17, which it is. However, because my hearing is still a little messed up from all that banging, we'll put the earmuffs on. And that came out real nice. Alright. So same thing as before. We're gonna bang right here. And you know what? We are not using this ball joint. And I don't want to damage this control arm. I mean, I would install STI control arms if I cared enough. Which right now, again, I don't. Not trying to spend extra money we don't have. So, alright, let me see. I have to reorient myself. Some good wax in. Maybe if I stand on my head, it'll be a little easier. Please don't break that. Don't know if that's out. Honestly, probably take out that wheel speed sensor don't get too far. Yeah, it seems like a 12. Probably a 12. If not, I have spares. Alright. That bolt actually looks pretty fresh. I don't know if you can tell. Super gray. Wow. Someone actually cared about this car. Now, is the speed sensor going to come out as easily? No, it's not. However, we have a trick. Which is just tap, 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 tap. Maybe. Oh, there it goes. Spinning now. Alright, so now we're just going to spin. Pull up gently. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. And we're out. Nice, would you look at that? There's a little metal on there. Wheelberry probably wasn't the healthiest. But again, we don't care. Say it with me, folks. We don't care because we are putting on new to us axles. Hubs. Anyway, now that that's up, yeah, that's gonna stay with that. This. See if we can't get that this thing off again. Alright, don't know if I'm smashing it up or it's getting loose, so take a look here. That was what took me out. Alright, we're smashing up the castle nut, even though we're not meaning to, so I think, well, that's what. I'm gonna try to get this back on. That's back on. Rip it off. Come on, there we go. Now that's probably gonna get stuck in there. And again, go like this. And then got it out. That's it. Alright, is this any looser? I don't think so. I'm gonna try banging it. There, Mr. Tie Rod. I don't think so. Alright, let's try this again. There's some wax. Oh, shit. too hard. Okay, it's not coming out. These are really rusty. Let's see. Let's try hitting it from the other side. Maybe we can massage this puppy back and forth. You know what? Since we're here, it might be easier. Let me take off that nut. The one that holds the ball joint to the knuckle. See, it's not a 12. Is it a 14? Weird. Looks small next to it's a rope. Something tells me it's retained at the back. Yes, it is. Alright, so we're gonna get another 14. Luckily, got that one right here. So, let's see. Reach this. Actually, probably should have spun it from this side. Of course, that's not a 14. Well, what are you then? Of course, it's a 15. And luckily, I have a 15 right here. So we will spin it back the other way. Alright. You probably can't see. I can't see that. Alright. No washer. Again, it's for the ball joint. Looks like we already have a ball joint nut. New ones. But yeah, wish I had the right size for that. I believe that's a 32 because I have a 30. That's not big enough. I think it's a 30. Yeah, it's a 30. Must be either a 32 or a 34. Dad's a 36, but hell, I've been wrong. Alright, see if we can't hit it from this side. Something's happening. Oh, came out. Hey, look at that. All I had to do was pull up. Just like on the wheel speed sensor. Sorry if I'm blinding you. Alright. Now that that's on, I guess all that's left is to pull the axle. Before we do that, I'll make a mess on the garage floor. Let's put the oil pan underneath it, and then see if we can't just yank it out once we get the pan underneath it, of course. Let's get this pan. And now I'm assuming, yeah, probably right around there. Yeah, that's probably fine. No, just clean it up. Alright, grab this, yank that bitch out. Guess not. Alright, that's what we'll do then. I'm going to put this back in there. Hopefully it doesn't fall out. If it does, I hope it's a boy. And I think, yeah, pry it apart. Right over here. Alright, so I'm gonna get under there. I'm gonna pry it out using this in between the CV axle and transmission, and then you are gonna hold this, make sure it doesn't fall off. And if it starts to fall off and you can't hold it, let me know. Alright, let's see. Let's see what we can do. Alright. Oh, she's coming. Let me know if you got it. Oh yeah, she's leaking too. Alright. You might be asking yourself, Miguel, why didn't you drain out the transmission fluid? Well, that stuck. Anyway, hold on, before I tell you why, make sure you're still paying attention. Okay. So you've been in low power mode, but I think you've still been paying attention. So, you might be asking yourself, Miguel, why didn't you drain the transmission fluid? I'll tell you. The largest socket that I have, or a torque socket, is a T55. Come on, man, you were out just a second ago. Oh no. Can't see it, but the yoke or the joint or whatever came apart at the CV axle. So this CV axle is probably going to be toast unless we can dislocate that or relocate that shoulder, pop it back in. I'm going to go back under there. Hopefully this is low enough to the ground that it's not going to smash anything up. In fact, I'll put this piece of wood here. If my math is right, when it comes down, it'll land right on it. Again, that block is just there in case you can't hold it. So do your best to hold that. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? Alright. Alright. So I think it got pushed back in. Unfortunately. Luckily for us, we brought a thing. It did get pushed in. Now, there we go. Okay. Yeah, it's leaking. Oh, there we go. And you see, I told you, and I told you that it would land on the wood. Now, this is why it got caught even though I dislocated it. It's got ED. But we can push this back in. Maybe. It might be savable. It's for someone else to use. Not me, of course. There we go. Gonna scoot that boot down. Which I'll leave that up to the next guy. I should have brought napkins. And look at that. The universe provides. Man, that trans fluid, which is basically just differential fluid, stinks. You know what diff fluid smells like, you know what this trans fluid smells like. Alright. That hub is out then. This ball joint, not too bad. All right, first prize, our first kill. I don't know if you can see. It's pretty dark. Yeah, I'll shine my light over there for you guys. That's looking pretty bare. Here, we'll take you off the tripod. My diff hands, of course. And I'll show you. that's out. The only thing left to take out is gonna be that coilover. I'll show you better. Get my light out of the way. Yeah, it's that coilover. That's the last thing we're gonna have to take out here. We got the speed sensor, tie rod, ball joint. She's ready for that axle. Now, the one thing, I'll probably set you up for this so you can see. One thing that I'm unsure about is whether or not the front axles, or sorry, the front coilovers on this. Let's see, can you see? Yeah, you can see. You'll see. Anyway, one thing that I'm unsure about is whether or not these coilovers are going to fit here. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm checking out this ball joint. Doesn't feel loose. Wheel bearing feels alright too. Speed sensor, probably fine. Anyway, take this. We're just gonna do the finger test. Looks like from inner to the outer, it's 2 fingers. The inner, wait a second. There we go. Now these might actually work for the front. Let's see. This looks like it, doesn't it? Yeah, that might work. Let's see. If that's the case, I might be able to put these on. Man, that diff fluid stinks. It's all on my hands now. Smells like I ate a bunch of Taco Bell. I gotta get to the bathroom in time. Anyway. Oh yeah, it's not gonna fit. It is wider. And it looks like the bolt spacing is different too. It is wider though. That's interesting. I'm almost wondering, we take this pry bar, you know, one of those numbers. I'm just kidding, I don't think that'll work. Yeah, maybe it will. I wonder if, nah, they wouldn't. That's not possible, right? Looks like it's close. That doesn't need much. See the width of that. I don't know how else we'd open this. Maybe if we put another pry bar in there. One more, and, you know, push it back. That being said also, is this Action Fab, whatever it is, I believe these bodies are replaceable. If they're replaceable, I might be able to use this top part, just replace the body, or the bottom portion here, the STI version. We don't know. I don't know what version of coilovers these are, Action Fabs, or coilovers they are. Man, how did the coil get so rusty if it's coated? Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, take this back off. Don't get too comfortable there, Bucko. Yeah, we're done with this side. So I'll see if I bring you along. Oh wow, that's pretty trippy. There is, so someone did do inner tie rods on this. Interesting. Yeah, someone did inner tie rods on this. You can feel it. You see they use zip ties to hold the boots. That's not like too leaky. The power steering looks like it was leaking at one point. It had the wrong fluid, but doesn't look like a current leak. And then, oh wait a second. Yeah, that tie rod is fucked. It's not completely fucked, but I'm sure you can hear that. Unless that's just turning the steering wheel, which that could be it too. Yeah, we don't know. Anyway, this tie rod's still good. Not a problem for right now. Just trying to get this bad boy on the road. Yeah. Let's go over to the next side. And honestly, before I forget, you almost let me forget. gonna put these strut to knuckle bolts back in, so I don't lose them. That would be sad. Stupid camber bolt. I guess it does kind of change its position, but only if it's hitting there. So yeah, probably doesn't do anything. Anyway, floor is cold. That's that. Oh wait, I have a 36 here. Yeah, let's see. Another low battery percentage. Yeah, I might not have enough to show you. Yeah, let's put this right there. Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm doing. Might not have enough battery percentage to show you the other side, but before, whew, Jack wanted to get frisky. So this is a 36, and it's too big. So I have a 32 and a 36, probably not a 35. Could be. These look like OEM axle stuff, but if not, if they are OEM axles, that's a 34. If they're not, then let's find out. We know for sure it's not a 36. Alright, I'm gonna stop recording there since you're almost dead anyway. Just wanted to say thank you if you made it this far. Slight little progress. What I'm thinking, I don't know if you can see me. What I'm thinking is maybe I'll record a few things, little progress updates, not very fun videos like this one. And then at the end, I'll cut a lot of that stuff out, cut a lot of the talking out, just kind of do like a piece together, kind of like a full-length video. But for now, I think the best bet is to record it in clips like this, just come hang out and make some progress. And then towards the end, or once I get this completed or whatever, maybe maybe like once I get all the stuff off the car, compile that into one video, cut stuff up, make it nice. Maybe no background music. Maybe I'll leave the talking in there. You'll just get little bursts of me talking shit. And I'll just do it like that. Well, that actually sounds pretty good. I think what I wanted to do for these anyways is just kind of like a come hang out with me while I bitch about the car, try to get shit done, and that's it. Anyway, thanks for watching or listening or whatever you're doing, and